Hello, this is Andy Bennett with Interactive Learning. Welcome to this CHiSL 365 introduction video. Since CHiSL 365 may be a new term to you, let's go over the differences here. CHiSL 365 was started in 2020. This is a bundle that packages everything together for one annual cost. We see here 4 main features that are included with your CHiSL 365 subscription. The first one, which we will spend a lot of time on this video discussing, is curriculum updates. We will be releasing these quarterly. Version 1 of CHiSL 365 that was released in April of 2020 contains updated and corrected files within CHiSL that were identified by our Curriculum Advisory Board. The first of 5 lessons for the cybersecurity. You, the people, will be coming in subsequent updates. We have personal skills. This one is covering habits. We have more coming. Yoga and mindfulness, you get 3 of the 9 videos in this first version. The financial literacy will also be released in subsequent updates. And CAB created, our Curriculum Advisory Board created lessons. Color Guard, Preventing Bullying, which is a video lesson, Drug Abuse Prevention, and then leadership camps. We also have included a whole group PowerPoint lesson for both flag folding and hands-only CPR. So that is one of the features of CHiSL 365, which is regular updates as long as you are a current member. The second one is exclusive professional development events. Our aim is to hold these quarterly and make these an online event. This will make it easier for CHiSL 365 members to attend since they don't have to worry about travel. These events will cover topics ranging from starting, maintaining, and growing a leadership program to any other areas that CHiSL 365 members mention that would be helpful to have as a professional development. Teaching best practices, curriculum, technology, cadet portfolio, all of the great things that are included in CHiSL 365. So members will be able to attend those sessions live or a recorded version on the backside. And again, this is exclusive. This is not available to everybody. It's only those that are CHiSL 365 members. In addition, members will be able to waive the $50 fee to attend our annual conferences. So those are the first 2. The last 2 are both subscription services. The first one being Cadet Portfolio. If you have not set up your Cadet Portfolio, you can reach out to Brian Sakonchina at the contact information on the screen. Cadet Portfolio is a digital portfolio that ties in directly with CHiSL curriculum, matching directly with our lessons. It gamifies personal growth, and it has an amazing resume builder. Lots of great things that you can do, that your cadets can do with Cadet Portfolio. And a new feature that was just added is instructors can add their own assignments to Cadet Portfolio. So a lot of great things. Definitely reach out to Brian if you need to get your account set up on that. And the final one is the Turning Point license. This is an annual subscription that will allow instructors to leverage the Turning Point software, which all of the CHiSL lessons are embedded with. Check on learning questions, keyword questions, and as we'll see here in a little bit, we now have question lists for quick reviews as well. And instructors can use this both with the QT2 clickers or mobile devices. And this license will allow them to do both. So that's an overview of what is included in CHiSL 365. Next, let's look to see what we are going to cover in this video. So we've already seen an overview of what CHiSL 365 contains. Next, we will show how to install the update. We'll briefly talk about the enhancements and close with the new CHiSL 365 modules. When your school or district purchases a CHiSL 365 subscription, you will receive an email with an attachment with the CHiSL 365 installation directions. These are easy to follow. You just click on this link and then follow the directions. Upper right hand corner, select download, direct download, download, direct download. Click save. Once downloaded, we're going to open the folder and then unzip or extract all of these. I'm guessing at this point most of you are on Windows 10. Once the installation is downloaded, you're going to extract all or unzip, depending on your version of Windows. Extract, put it in the same spot. Once this is done, it'll open up to the same folder, and then we can continue to the next step. Once unzipped or extracted, double-click on the CHiSL 365 application. See the application right here, CHiSL 365 V1. We double-click on that. And then at this point, we will just continue to click Next to be able to download and install all of the curriculum. Notice it says on the install doc that all of the files will be located in a new folder called CHiSL 365, located directly on your C drive. This is another change, and we'll show you side by side what it looks like in the old CHiSL folder structure and the new one. But the CHiSL curriculum is located in the content folder. There's a content folder within CHiSL 365. That's where course 1, 2, 3, drill and ceremony, all of those are located. And then the instructor resources are just in the root folder. Just as a reminder, we have our CHiSL training website right here that you can go out to as well. So now that we have it downloaded and installed, let's compare the old CHiSL version to the new CHiSL 365 version. And this gets into our enhancements. On the bottom here, we see the old folder structure, also on the C drive, called CHiSL Curriculum, and we've got course 1, 2, 3, drill and ceremony, instructor resources, all the way down. There was a CHiSL training website as well. And then if we open up course 1 here, we see that we've got all of our lessons piled into one folder. All of course 1 files are located in this root folder. You got your IG, your PowerPoint, and your student learning guide. So there's one lesson. There's the second lesson. So needless to say, it's a little bit confusing. And then when you combine that with, on the bottom here, we've got resources that tie back to C1, M1, L2. It was not the best structure. So that was the way it was. In the new CHiSL 365, it looks like this. So as we had mentioned before, all of your lessons live in the content folder. We double click this, then it looks very similar. We'll talk about the new CHiSL 365 folder here in a second. But let's go back to course 1. And now, instead of seeing all of our lessons piled into one folder, now we've got individual folders here. So if I want to go to C1, M1, L1, I just double click on this, and then all of the files that are associated with that lesson are located in that one easy to find folder. Your IG, your PowerPoint, student learning guide. This is a question list. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then any accompanying PDFs, Flash files, applications like that. So as we see here in this What's New document that is also included in the install, we have the new CHiSL 365 root folder. This is another important point. All future updates will populate to this location. So any future updates will go into CHiSL 365 folder, content, and then find the associated folder and either update or add content to this folder structure. We already mentioned the improvement of putting everything in one folder. The next one on our list is the fact that now Turning Point is included in the install. Before, there was quite a few hoops you had to jump through that once you got your curriculum, you have to go out to the Turning Technologies website, download the associated software, put that on your C drive, move this into a content folder. It was quite a few hoops to jump through. We've now eliminated all of that, and with the CHiSL 365 installation, now we have our Turning Point software and all of the associated files and folders that need to make that run. So just by installing CHiSL 365, you've got everything you need that once you've launched Turning Point here, your content's in the right spot and you can hit the ground running. So being that this is not a training video, more of an overview, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to show you what that looks like. So when I open a Turning Point, and again, Turning Point is included with CHiSL 365. This is the latest version as of May 2020. We put in our associated Turning account, email and login. The very first time that you launch it, it's going to ask for a region. You'll select North America. For those that are in North America, you'll enter an offline password. I would recommend doing the same password as you had for your normal password. And then once that's set, you can click Do Not Show Again, set. And then it'll also ask, do you want to remember your login credentials? We'll say yes to that. And then our dashboard will launch. So outside of the extraneous courses that you see here, everything else will look the same. So we've got all of our folders right here that have all of our lessons. And the next thing we want to show is our question list. This is also a new update from instructor requests. So for instructors that have the QT2 clickers, you would simply plug in your receiver. You would simply plug in your receiver. You would see channel 41 with the little green radio tower, and that means that they are ready to go. So I can go into a PowerPoint, click Start Now with my class assigned, and the clickers are ready to go. For anybody that's using mobile devices, the Turning Point app or ttpoll.com, we would click Enable. We would either do a random number or reserve a session ID. I have CHiSL here, so I reserve CHiSL. I would hit Start Session, and then cadets could go to the Turning Point application on their smartphone or tablet, or ttpoll.com, enter this session number, and be able to answer questions through PowerPoint or question lists right on their device. As I mentioned before, we now have question lists in all of Course 1 lessons. So instead of having to go into PowerPoint and pick through questions to be able to get a review, we can just access the lesson questions right here. And then we can go into PowerPoint, which is an option. I would recommend actually going into anywhere to review. And then if you wanted to print it off, you could do a test right here. But these lesson questions are probably just good for a review. We click Start. And then there we go. Now all of the questions exist outside of the PowerPoint. And now we can see with very minimal effort whether students are understanding the content that was just covered in a lesson. Lots we can do on that. Again, this is not a Turning Point training, so I'm not going to go any further than that, but wanted to show you that we now have question lists included in all of Course 1 lessons. We will have more coming in subsequent CHiSL 365 updates. A couple other enhancements to make you aware of are in Course 1. Again, we tried to focus most of our work on Course 1 and those new modules for this first version here. In Course 1, when we go into our student learning guides, again, IG is instructor guide, PowerPoint, and SLG is your student learning guide. Unlike previous versions, now when students open up a student learning guide, this is a fillable PDF document. So when we get down here, we can see that we can just have students check off what they've done. My leadership program is LOTC. And we can just write in and check off things directly in the PDF. And then from there, I can either save that or print that and send it to my instructor. So all of that is done digitally on either a Chromebook or a tablet. I should mention that this same functionality is available through Cadet Portfolio. So if you're using Cadet Portfolio, you may not need to do these fillable student learning guides, but this is a great option for programs that maybe don't have devices for every student to access and be able to use that. So it works in both ways, either through the fillable student learning guides in Course 1 or through Cadet Portfolio. So that's a great update and enhancement in the curriculum. One other one to mention before we get into the CHiSL 365 modules is one that was outlined and unveiled the 2019 National Conference, and that is a customized planner. This is a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Most of our planners before are in this Excel document, and basically it says going through Course 1, I've got 2 days of teaching right here, 1 day of drill and ceremony, 1 day of PT, and then service learning, and switch off between admin and inspections. That's basically how it was created from the beginning for a 3-year program to be able to get through all lessons. If we follow the course 1, 2, 3, we will be able to do that. What we've heard from a lot of instructors is that rather than going through it from beginning to end, they'd like to be able to jump around and choose concepts that are pertinent to their program. So to that end, we've created, and this is again just the first version here, we will update this as we hear feedback from instructors. But this customized curriculum planner allows you to start from here. We'll enable editing. We'll say, you know what, I just have a 12-week course here, 12 weeks. I've got 1 week off for a vacation. And then in the classroom, we're only going to be in the classroom just 2 days. So with all of that, that calculates out to being 22 lessons. I need 22 lessons. And then I go down to the next section and say, you know what, I want to focus mainly on, let's focus on civics. And then it shows right here the 5 lessons that I have pertaining to civics right there. And they are in Course 3, Module 3, Lesson 1. This was a little bit tricky, but Donna's sister Ellen came up with this awesome legend over here. So SA is a standalone. You could do this first lesson by itself, and then PAP means prerequisite for all parts. That just means that to do part 2, you need, or to do part 3 rather, you need to do done part 2. So basically, if you wanted to do these 5 lessons, you could grab all 5 of these lessons right here, copy that. So this is 5 of our 22, and then we go over here and paste that in, and then it's ready to go. So there's 5 of my 22, and then I go back. All right, so now I want to focus on what about character? Okay, and those are all of the ones for character. Same idea, maybe I want character and culture. We grab those 5. Again, we can see the different prerequisites right there. If it does require something that's not one right before it, if we float over it, it actually says review course 1 and 2 concepts and construct new goals for the year. So we try to make it as straightforward as possible. Again, copy this and then paste right over here. So it's not without its clunkiness, and we will hopefully get this a little bit more dialed in. But in the meantime, for those that want to be able to jump around and pick specific sections or specific areas, focuses that we wanted to work on with our cadets, this is a serviceable way to do this. So service learning, obviously we could do that at any point. Again, just copy, Control C, go over here, highlight, Control V, Victor, and now we're 18, so we only need 4 more lessons. We'll go back, we'll do 1 more. Let's see, we want to do academic skills. Oh, lots of academic skills. Let's do right here, those 3, and you get the idea. Okay, so something like that. And now we have effectively gone through the 100+ lessons that are in CHiSL, and we're able to quickly drill down to the specific focuses of lessons. And there's a secondary if you want to get even more specific there, and customize a lesson for us. So we've got 1 extra lesson we could do as a review. So that is our customized curriculum planner. We hope that that's something that's useful for you. Again, if you have ideas of how to improve on this, we're more than willing to enhance this and correct this for future updates. So that ends all of the enhancements. Next, let's get into our CHiSL 365 modules. So we'll notice that from previous years, we had course 1 through 3 all the way to Mission Possible. Now we've added a new CHiSL 365 folder along the top here. This is where all subsequent CHiSL 365 modules will be populated. We'll just start at the top here. This anti-bullying video lesson was created by our friend Veronica Parker, and she and her students put together an amazing lesson here with very high quality video. It's absolutely incredible. So there is a video. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. They used drones. It was super, super cool. So this is I think a 6-part anti-bullying module that we will release a couple of them per update. So we've got 2 videos, and then the teacher guide looks like this. Tells you what you need right here, some discussion questions. So again, these are going to be a little bit different than what we're used to with our course 1 through 3. Not all of these will have an instructor guide, a PowerPoint, and a student learning guide, but that's not a bad deal, right? We wanted to open this up to some of the great content that our instructors are creating and using in their classroom. So I can't thank Veronica enough for this. This is awesome content. We're hoping that you get a lot of value out of this. So that's our anti-bullying. This one, notice we put in parentheses video, just so you're aware of the type of lessons that are delivered there. This CHiSL Cadet Handbook was actually created a while back, but I'm not sure it ever found its way into some of the installations here. So we wanted to make sure that everybody had this. If we look back at our master training schedule, historically, the first 2 weeks are all about setting up classroom norms, procedures, that kind of stuff. In that light, this CHiSL Cadet Handbook, we gave you both the PDF copy and the Word copy, but most likely you'll start with this Word copy right here, and then go through here and just edit this. So you can change this to, May of 2020, and you can take out all of the other things. So if you're only in LOTC, you can take out all the other ones and just say, this is about LOTC. So you can just go back and find and replace, remove language that's not specific to your programs. Any of this with the patch and the mission statement. Again, Junior Leadership Corps. In case you are not aware of how to do that, you can do a find and replace pretty quickly. If I just do Control F, Junior Leadership Corps, we see that it's in this place multiple times, and then we hit the drop down, and then we go replace. So if I want to replace Junior Leadership Corps with Leadership Officer Training Corps. I can do that and then hit replace all, and it goes through the entire document and replaces all of those. Okay, and then we can also say for JLC, we want that to now be LOTC, replace all. Okay, so pretty quickly we can go back through here and modify this to make it fit whatever it is that you're calling your leadership program. And I would recommend going through this one time. It has all of the skeleton that you need right here. It just needs your modifying and tweaking it to make sure that it fits your program. I'm not going to go through this entire thing, but again, just by going through this, editing the wording of that, once that's done, you can print that, and then that is now your cadet handbook. If you don't have something like that, hopefully this will be a good start for you. In addition to the Word and PDF document, we also have a PowerPoint. So again, just trying to make this as simple as possible for you. I tried to highlight everything that was maybe a different wording from one program to the next, so you can look for that and just change out those wordings. You can change this right there, so on and so forth. The one thing that I wanted to show you is once you got to the table of contents, when you're in slideshow mode, the nice thing about this is you don't have to jump to slide 55 or whatever, right? I can just click right there. It jumps me right to chapter 7. We read through that. And then when I want to go back, I click the table of contents in the lower right, and then I can just bounce around to specific things. Again, this is a start. You may want to go in here and change some of the wording right here, change these forms and documents out, but hopefully this is a good start for you. So your CHiSL Cadet Handbook is also included in CHiSL 365. We've got an amazing color guard lesson that was created by our awesome friend Heward Harold. It's also on our curriculum advisory board. This is super helpful. Big thanks to Heward for creating that. This references FM 3-21.5, and it goes through the entire process of how to present colors and do color guard. Okay, and we tried to break this down where in PowerPoint mode you've got little chunks that you can discuss before moving to the next section right there. Okay. Again, anything that's highlighted, you can go in and modify that. And another excellent partner and friend of the programs is Drill Team Dynamics. He found this video for us. You can read the kind of the background of why this video was chosen right there. Master Sergeant Lucky, former drill sergeant, amazing at what he does. That is his team right there. On right there, and then we've got thanks to our sponsors right there. So there's another great resource for you. That's something that instructors have been asking for quite a while. So thank you to Heward and to Matt with Drill Team Dynamics. Flag foldings, very straightforward. This is just taken straight from the usflag.org. All I did was put this in a PowerPoint that makes it a little bit easier to walk through how to fold the flag and then how to do a flag folding ceremony. So the entire script is laid out there for you and what needs to be happening at each time. So that's the color guard. Same idea with CPR. This was pulled from the American Red Cross. All I did was take that PDF and put it into a PowerPoint that makes it a little bit easier for you to display and teach your students from. Gave you some pictures of different AEDs. So that is a nice quick way to teach hands-only CPR. Next up is cyber. This is probably the one that is the most anticipated of all of the CHiSL 365 resources and the new modules. This was done by our friend Ronnie Hess that worked on course 3. He and Donna poured over this for hundreds of hours. A lot of time was put into this, and we have, I believe it's 6 lessons total that we will roll out in subsequent updates. So that's why it's important to continue on with your CHiSL 365 subscription so you continue to get this great content. So here's just a quick glance at the PowerPoint. This is set up much like Course 3 was. So we've got our game icon there, we've got our little group icons. You can see that it's already tied in with Turning Point. The color scheme's a little bit different, but all of the functions are the same. So you've got your same leaderboards. You can ask keyword questions here. There's a focusing question. This is a live link that goes out to a PDF that we'll read through. So amazing, amazing resource here. And this is, again, just the first of lessons that are covering the basics of cyber security that you and your students need to know. Next up was drug awareness. This was modified from Heward, from a lesson that Heward Harrell had sent me. Thanks again to him. Basically just gives a nice overview of the different types of drugs that are out there, the dangers behind them, some basic facts about those. You can see we've got different sections. There's one on marijuana, one on inhalants. Added a new video there. So lots of different things to make your cadets more aware of what's going on right there. And then the second half of it is a Faces of Meth. As with any lesson, I recommend reading through this beforehand, but go ahead and take a good look at this before you show it to students. It may not shock them, but hopefully it will a little bit to keep them away from this nasty stuff. So thanks to Heward for giving us access to those great lessons. This one does have an instructor guide for what it's worth, so kind of a hybrid between the CHiSL lessons, our curriculum advisory board lessons. So it does have the IG, just not a SLG, but it does give you prompts as you're going through here of what to ask on each slide. Have the cadets write their answers down, stuff like that. Okay. All right, we're almost to the end here. Personal skills video. This is a friend of Donna's. His name is Dave Donahue. Does an amazing job. He's a life coach. Just has the coolest accent in the world, but walks through how to create habits and gives you some great insight on how to do that, why habits are important, walks you through activities of actually setting habits. There's Dave. The structure of habits, trigger, different things like that. What is a trigger? How to choose the correct trigger for the habit that you're trying to create. And then again, following through to actually doing that. And it gives you an app here at the end that you can start creating your own habits. So excellent video. There are more of these coming as well. So in addition to the video, we made a student worksheet. And again, this is fillable. You can have your students watch the video either on their own or as a class, and then just fill this out using their Chromebook or tablet, or if you want to just print this out and then they can write it in. It works both ways. But I did this with my 11 and 13-year-old boys, and it worked really well. So this is an awesome lesson. I can't wait for you guys to see the rest of them. Motivation, I think, is the next one we're going to do for you. So excellent lessons. And then the final ones are a yoga and mindfulness videos. There are 3 of them this first time around. This is Sapta. She is Dave's newlywed wife. Beautiful young couple. She is a yoga instructor and put together some great things. So we have the version 1 right here. We see what is coming in future updates. You can click on these links to be taken out to a YouTube video where you can see Sapta talk about the specific yoga stance and then how it relates back to CHiSL. Fits in a lot of different ways. So thanks to Dave and Sapta for creating those. We're looking forward to the rest of those as well. So that includes our introduction video to CHiSL 365. I hope this has been useful for you to see what's new, what's been enhanced, the new and improved installation of everything. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Tamara Williams can handle about 90% of any general questions. Her contact information is there. Or if you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to our entire team. We've got Donna Rice that handles anything curriculum related. Doug Darden is our program specialist. I can handle anything technology or curriculum if Donna's busy. And then Brian handles all of our cadet portfolio integration. So we are here to help you, and we want to make sure that you and your cadets are successful and have a great year and a great leadership program. Please let us know if there's anything we can do. Thank you again for your time. Take care.